live. Welcome to our Friday Fun Day stream. I'm joined by Lalta and Brittany.
Hello.
Hello.
I need to open the chat. I feel like that's kind of important. Oh wait, no, I do have chat open. There we go. Hello,
My
hello.
goodness. You know what I need to do?
Got Juice Bag, Dead Blade. Welcome in, everyone.
I'm on the wrong build.
So today we're going to be doing a shorter, probably just like one map. And then we're going to get right into some of the upcoming feature and system changes. We won't have any gameplay today, but we do have some slideshow screenshots to show off, and Lalta will be giving his TED Talk about all the screenshots.
Oh, it's a TED Talk.
How many pages is the doc that we're looking to post later?
Is the reveal? Oh my gosh, it is. Right now, 17 pages.
That is 17 pages, including pictures. So it's not just like a wall
That's a lecture.
but it is a lot.
Without pictures, it's probably around like
10,
11 or 12.
I was gonna say.
It's a lot. I've been writing a lot and so much. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. TED Talk without a TED talking? Is anyone here named Ted? If so, we need your blessing.
Nope. Guys, in preparation of this though, for lunch, I had a bean dip.
Bean dip? Wow.
Yeah, so we're ready. I'm powered for all of you. Through the bean dip.
So Phil, you can go ahead and get started on a map. Just you can pick up 3 brave defenders who will hop in, because I was on the wrong build, and we gotta get this show going, because we're gonna try to cover like we won't be able to get as nitty gritty as what this update post is gonna have, but it's like it's just gonna go over the stuff we're talking about today. Like it is.
Let's try and do Throne Room.
It's crazy.
Massacre campaign. Actually, no, I'm not doing Rifted. Hold on. Cancel that.
Oh, goodness.
Anyone's interested in joining or aka carrying me, feel free to join the stream. We also need a hashtag.
Somebody said TED Talk.
You know what? We can go with TED Talk. That'd be fine. Or
what's your suggestion?
We could go with maybe the theme of what the giant beans are going to be.
Like hashtag gear update?
Hashtag gear upgrade.
Upgrade?
Ooh.
Okay. Let me nightbot that.
Beano-palooza.
Oh my gosh.
That might send the wrong message, actually, so...
Alright, the keyword is hashtag gear upgrade. Make sure you type that in chat if you're wanting our exclusive stream rewards for either DDA or DD2. Hashtag reflect field. Glass cola, I see. Let's see, we got glass cola, so I mean we're good there. Is anyone else interested in joining our throne room? Where is? Oh, there he is. He's got the amazing chicken gun.
We should get this. This should be full. Okay, we got at least one other. We got one spot, right? No,
yeah, we got 3 so far.
3 so far. All right, we can get one more in there. Someone be brave enough to join. We can get this going. The sooner this map goes down, the sooner we start talking about gear upgrade.
Well, we got glass cola, so that's gonna be real soon.
That's fair.
I keep wanting to use my grenade jump that we showed off last week.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, because I like whenever I'm not doing something, or like whenever I'm waiting for something, I'll just like jump around tavern and stuff like that. And usually I'm playing a huntress, and so I can just like grenade jump around. It's a lot of fun.
This is suggesting no giveaways today.
Well,
Just,
all right, take down the giveaways.
They're gone. Oh my goodness.
All right, are we? I think we don't get a lot of mana, so might as well just ready up.
It's gonna be really hard to talk about all this stuff. I haven't talked a whole lot today, and then my voice is just warmed up.
Do some voice exercises right now.
What's the? There's one from Anchorman. I don't remember what it is.
Oh my gosh, what is it?
But I don't even know if it's safe for stream though, so I'll look it up first.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. DDA is programmed in C++.
I can go through some of these. I would like an Arnold Palmer at the omelet parlor. A tarantula enjoys a fine chewing gum. Snoopy was stabbed by a spear. The Human Torch is denied a bank loan. There are a couple that would not be good for stream.
Wow. Not family friendly.
Mm-hmm. There's some in like Pitch Perfect too, but that's for singing. So don't know if you're getting ready to sing.
Will the DD2 bag offer go back? At some point I would imagine we'll do another bag sale. They rotate out between a whole bunch of like different like bags, stash tab, like
costumes.
So you'll just have to keep an eye out for any upcoming sales. Now they won't be back to back, so if we just did a bag one, then it's probably not going to be right away. It'll probably be a little bit more down the road. But at some point...
We do have 2 this weekend that are live.
What do we got?
For DD2. The Dryad Shadow Armor Bundle and the Abyss Lord's Molten Master Bundle. So those are both 50% off.
The Abyss Lord's Molten set looks really dope. I think that's the one I use whenever I play.
Lotta, have you tried the Panther perfume?
66% of the time it works all the time?
Every time.
Every time? Well, I can't. They're always sold out.
It's true. Oh, man.
Oh, man, we're breaking out the bowling ball towers.
Oh, yeah.
Fusion. Yeah, fusion, too.
You guys should just go. We got these timers going.
I'm ready.
Wait, do you guys have?
I could just force ready. We have 4.
Oh, you do. Okay.
All right. After this, I'm just force readying. We're going right through it. No breaks.
No breaks. All G's, no breaks.
What do you mean no offers this month? They rotate every weekend, pretty sure.
Yeah, D2 gets new weekend sales every weekend.
Spamming your question there, Jose, is not going to be very wise.
Sorry, I keep like phasing out a little bit here because I'm going through all the stuff we're going to be going through here shortly.
This is going to be the biggest presentation of your life. All right, force ready.
Maybe.
Nah, it is.
Build it up. Build it up.
It's decided.
It's going to be pretty big. Like there's going to be a lot to read. There's going to be several YouTube videos going over this post when it goes live.
Definitely, Juice Bags is not watching right now.
No, not at all.
No.
And potentially, definitely not Anthem either.
Nah, those guys have other things to do right now. And I'm really trying to get through because I also want to get some a review on this just in case.
Whoa.
Turner,
Good.
you have some time. You have some time.
I'm a pretty good writer, but
Yeah, see, Juicebag says he wouldn't dream of making a video off this.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Of course not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there's so much stuff.
What? Nigiri? I don't know what that means. Can I spam questions about everyone's favorite meat-like substance? What is a meat-like substance?
Beyond Meat.
Like Beyond Meat, yeah, Impossible
Yeah.
Burgers.
Is
Like
there-
tempeh? You mean like the actual like soy stuff? Yeah. Or just beans?
Oh,
Beans.
spam? No, spam is meat. Like I get it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Technically, isn't it a meat substance?
It is. No, I think it's pork, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Or like scrapple just shoved in the can.
Now I need to look it up. Damn. Oh shoot! It's gonna come up with like. Oh no! The food was the first one.
Chopped pork and ham. There we go.
Canned, cooked pork.
We've,
Yeah.
we've solved the mystery. It's also a lot of salt, a lot of sodium.
So
Yes.
someone asked, is there a gold cap in DDA? There is not. Well, technically there is, and if you reach it, I'm gonna ban you. But good luck getting into that.
Or you've played an impossible amount, or just
Yeah, something.
eventually.
If you get gold capped in DDA, you're gonna get flagged, and there's gonna be an investigation.
Yeah, previously in DD2, it was a little over 2 billion.
And this
that was
is
because
like
we're using-
9 quadrillion. It's
it's
impossibly
super
high.
Yeah, it's the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit.
quintillion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 20 seconds till the boss. I'm curious how these bowling balls are gonna do against the goblin mech.
They'll bounce behind him and hit his weak spot.
Looks like are we gemstone buffing them? No, we're just doing a.
VR Gaming is reminding me. I asked people today on Twitter to post a GIF of what they a GIF that shows how many beans are going to be spilled today, and they were some solid submissions.
I saw
So-
a lot. I was actually pretty
yeah.
proud with how many people were actually posting gifs.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Thank you all. It was a great way to spend my day.
It's going
And
down.
if you haven't seen them, look at them. They're great.
Bean whale.
Yeah.
Kevin spilling the beans.
All right,
Dots.
we did it.
See you.
All right, let me get my.
Paul McCartney. Dogs.
They're just so diverse. It's like a diverse selection.
Gal-
I
the
appreciate it.
dancing beans. That one's got me.
Yeah.
These are some choreographed beans.
Bean pet or we riot.
Pet.
So there are probably going to be a lot of questions with a lot of this stuff, and hopefully the super long post really helps cover a lot of this.
So hold your
But-
question to the post mainly.
Basically, yeah, because in order to get all of this knocked out, there's a lot to cover here.
All right. Well,
So I'm assuming we actually have, in case we somehow get through it early, which I severely
we're
doubt,
not.
but
There's
maybe.
no way.
We do have a thing that we can show, but
Yeah.
if we don't,
I'll have it
then
on
we'll
backup,
be showing it
but-
next week. Yeah, it's a backup.
All right. Well,
we
thank
got-
you guys for joining my game. I'm gonna hop out of this and switch over to stuff.
All right, so we're gonna change the layout of the stream here, and
Yeah,
so this
it's
will
about to get real fancy.
yeah. Watch out.
All right, and do this. You should be able to hear us again. And then all I gotta do is size a Roni.
Yes.
All right, we're back in business.
All right,
We're here.
here we go. So which is why we stopped playing sooner, to make sure that we got all of this knocked out. All right, so a lot of the stat values that you're going to see here are just placeholder to show like the total size of what's going to kind of be displayed and how it's going to be displayed. So, and just as a disclaimer, as always, when showing content that's currently being developed and not fully released, that all of this stuff, everything, we could burn it to the ground. It is subject to change, top to bottom. Probably not going to do the former there and burn things to the ground, but there's a lot. So first thing, inventory is where we're starting here. A lot to change. So the first thing is we're starting a little bit in a weird order. That's on me for how I ordered these images. That's okay. So first thing, abilities. This has both towers and defenses and explains what they do. We have a lot of things laid out, so, like in game, that require you to interact with the defense to see what it does. We've moved things around several times, so some things are just kind of ambiguous. No mas, no more. What we've gone through is with every hero now, you will, I believe now I need to triple check to make sure. You can go to the second image as well.
The overcharge.
Yeah, so you've got the defense one that Phil was showing that has flame burst on it, that shows the HP, the DPS, and the rate of it. Not the rate, but the DPS is included. Oh, the rate is on there. What its range is, all the costs for it, and then with the abilities, with overcharge, it says what it does. So it increases your attack rate by 150%, gives a little bit of a description for it, and then also goes through what the mana cost is, what the mana drain is, and what the cooldowns are. Obviously, some of these stats change depending on what the strength of your gear and how many stats you have that are related to each ability and tower. So what's currently in there is, again, that's all placeholder stuff. That's just to kind of show how these things work. This has kind of been a pretty big pain point for us for kind of a while.
Especially for new players.
Oh yeah, like it's not easy to know how this stuff works. So we really wanted to take some time and put these things up there for the players to see. We're going to be expanding upon this systems in later updates. So you might see some things like a compendium that talks about what enemies do as well. But for now, it's most important thing is knowing what all of your abilities and towers do.
Yeah.
So that's where all this comes from. This is one of the more fun things that we've added, that it's just visually just so much more appealing and clears up a lot of confusion. So with that out of the way, we can go to what the new item box looks like. And I'm watching stream because Phil refuses to share his screen on Discord with me.
If you want, I can.
So the new item box. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, I only have so many monitors. How do I do this? Let me actually pull this up, see if this works out.
Look at that pet.
All right. So I'll do this. Actually, this works here better for me. Cool. So item box. A lot to take in here. I'm trying to follow with my document as well. So there's a ton of stuff that you're going to see on here. One of the things that we wanted to do was layout. That's the first thing we'll talk about, is getting things to be together so it's easier to move them, to understand what's affecting what. And also, for work down the road regarding split screen, we needed to take a huge pass at this stuff and get it to one side, because if you're playing with two people, it's not going to be readable. So not saying split screen is coming anytime soon, but we're setting the foundation so that we can.
We're building our way there.
Yeah, so you'll notice that there are the weapon slots, there are the armor slots, there are the accessory slots. Shout out to the juice bag pets that's there. If you want it, by the way, watch his stream on either Twitch or YouTube. That's where he gives it out. And it's just a better way to lay out the gear so it's always consistently in the same place and easier to work with. You also notice that it has the player name and also the title here. So we're going to be doing our best to make sure we get in titles within episode 1, at the very least, to fulfill the Kickstarter promises that were previously laid out. Um, but we'll kind of move on to. Well, I need to actually know what I sent you next.
It just goes through some of like the options. Like, so here's kind of what the context
Okay.
menus will look like on gamepad, and then the
Yes.
next one is the tooltip.
Okay, so we'll just go with the tooltip.
Okay.
That's fine. So on here, tooltips are a bit different. We've added a lot of stuff that, well, actually, there's nothing extra on here just quite yet. There actually kind of is, but it's fine.
A couple new things.
We'll cover that stuff. But we wanted to make the tooltips a little bit easier to read, so we've kind of like reworked them a bit. They're a lot more cleaned up. We've even changed kind of the item level, so like there's actually a progress bar that kind of shows you how far along you are for upgrading the items. We've got your DPS, your damage types, your attack rates. New stat, it's on the wrong kind of item. It's on the right icon, but the wrong item type.
Everything's placeholder.
So yeah. My gosh, there's just so much to get into here. So this is a new approach to showing this stuff, but we'll go on. Like we'll just keep going. There's just so much stuff to talk about here.
So we got filtering.
Okay, yeah. So filtering within item bags. So as you saw across the top there on the previous menu, item bags. A lot of choices here. So you have, if you notice on the left side under the settings, you can change the name of whatever your specific bag is. You can change the image of whatever your specific bag is. We've currently got some placeholder stuff in there, but it looks wonderful. Nice spectrum of colors there. You can go through, you can change the quality. You can choose specifically if you care about upgrade range, if you care about level range, what range of those things you want.
Yeah, it's gonna have all the same features that you currently have in the filters, just in a more organized category system. That way we can potentially expand it in the future, add stuff, because currently it's just a huge, overwhelming mess of checkboxes and like it's just a webbing mess to kind of first get into.
Yeah, so it's a ton. I'm not sure if you and then like you should also have. Do you have the quality on there as well? The quality image.
What is? Oh, this is sorting.
Okay, so that's fine. We can talk sorting next. So sorting was at the bottom of the selection, and now you have a lot of easier ways to select what you're sorting. Previously, it's kind of through like
some of them are going to be mostly the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an easier way to quickly select what you want to sort within your inventory, to find all of the items that you want to either collect in a certain bag or to filter out, to sell a bunch of stuff. This sorting method, way better than what's currently there. And we can continue onward.
So this is just more context menu. So for gamepad, specifically in consoles, they will switch between the equipment and item box panels. The current side will fade, or the other side will fade when you're not using it. On PC, they'll both be fully active, so it won't be like this transparent effect on one side. But this is just showing more context menus.
And then we'll be adding a new feature with the next screenshot, which is the ability to multi-select items. So what you can do is you can go through, grab as many items as you want. You can choose to sell them, to lock them, to unlock them. Don't remember if there's move functionality or not, but the base functionality here is to let you select specific pieces all at once instead of having to go either one at a time or all or nothing. So it's a lot of just functionality that will make the experience of interacting with your inventory a lot better. And then you can go to the next image, which should just be
selling,
just letting you know when things are being sold, so you're not just sitting on like a frozen screen, because selling a lot of items is going to take quite a while. And then, oh my gosh, okay, the next screen. Whew, okay, this is going to be a doozy. These next few, I guess we can like start to kind of go through, but we'll
Yeah,
stay
so
on
this
this
is
first
just
one for a moment.
another version of the tooltip.
So let's go through some stats real quick. So previously we talked about ammo and reload speed. Those are no longer a thing because they weren't fun. They punished early players, and they really didn't matter to late game players if they even affected them. If you were able to get through all of your ammo at the late game with thousands of bullets, that would be a very long process, and probably I don't think it's even possible. But so we got rid of those. Well, there's a lot more that's going to be in the post to try to keep this moving. But just going on here, like we've removed things like agility is a stat that now comes with levels. So as you level up to level 50, like previously agility capped out at 100, by the time you have a hero at level 50, they will have maxed out agility. So that will no longer be a rolled stat on any gear, and it won't take up better rolls for other stats that you're looking for. Now, this says erupting grenade launcher, but this should be a sword because of the stats that are on there. So attack rate, that's something that's not new. But you'll notice crit chance and crit severity. So those two stats are brand new, and they are specifically for swords and for polearms. What we're wanting to do is, at the late game, ranged characters have a lot of stats at their disposal. They have abilities that focus at range. They have projectile counts that multiplicatively increase their damage, and melee really starts to fall off. So crit chance and crit severity are a chance to really start like balancing these things out a little bit, so that if you do want to play a melee hero, you're not punished at doing so. And again, all the stat numbers and everything here should be considered placeholder for now. This isn't 100% representative, but this is more to show kind of the ideas that are going on here. So with melee, you tend to get in, do some damage, and then get out if you start getting low, whereas ranged has a lot of safety by playing range. So crit chance and crit severity, like I said, we're using this to start to balance the playing field a little bit more with heroes like the rogue coming in who can do both, being able to jump in, do some melee damage, and jump out, and then use his range. The range damage would be way more impactful than the melee damage would be, and so using crit and crit severity should help make the combat be just as exciting, whether you're in the fray attacking enemies, especially with using things like carnage, or jumping out and shooting them with your crossbow. Um, and then there's a lot of other stuff there. Man, there's all kinds of crazy stuff here that's not even showing on this tooltip that the
Yeah.
post will get into. One of the things is like making pole arms more accessible for like future heroes, specifically like the warden, and how all that's going to work. It goes through in the post and explains a lot. So it'll be a really good read for you guys this weekend. But I just don't know if we can like cover all that. One of the things you'll notice is it says 9.9999 million fire damage, and it doesn't show physical at all. What we're doing is we're simplifying the elemental system when it comes to weapons, so it will just be the damage type. So ranged attack, melee attack, elemental attacks, like all those damage types, those are all now just one. So if you have a fire sword, it deals fire damage. And part of this comes from players not knowing what to upgrade on every hero anytime they see elemental damage and physical like damage on there. Um, so we've taken a lot of time to really investigate this stuff on what we could do here, and just putting them all into one is what we're going to be doing, just to make it more accessible and easier to understand. And so what you currently have with the strength of your weapons when it comes to how your damage is set up will still be there. It'll just be focused primarily on those elements. What this also does is this should reduce the amount of clutter that you see with damage numbers, because you won't have twice like two events happening at once. It'll just be the single damage event going out. So it'll clear up what you see on your screen quite a bit. Um, you know, with multiple projectiles, you would still see, say you had 7, you would still see 7 damage numbers, but it won't be 14. So this is a pretty big change, but you shouldn't see any difference in your damage dealt. It's just unifying everything that makes it easier to upgrade a piece of gear and not have to know a bunch of back end like systems or some like word of mouth knowledge on which is the best to upgrade. Putting points into a weapon and finding out you put it into the wrong stat, and then that not being as good as it could be. Uh, so that's, man, it's really, I'm really having to pick and choose here what we talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Like I know it's effect is on there, and I can't even see chat because all my monitors are covered up right now.
Mhm.
And we'll get to that in a second. The one thing I want to talk about on here is ability. So ability is a new stat, kind of. What we did was we took skill and boost and combined them. So stats so all abilities now, all hero abilities now scale off of this one stat. So if you're playing a boost apprentice, for example, and you're sitting there just boosting your towers constantly, after you boost that with this stat, you can now run out and drop a huge mana bomb if you want to while your towers are boosted and you're just sitting there doing some ranged attacks, and it will be scaled up because of how this stat now applies to pretty much any ability. For the rogue, which actually made it kind of hard to talk to about him at the time, his assault, his disengage, or sorry, his swift assault, his disengage, stealth, and carnage will all be scaled off of this stat or have this stat applied as part of the scaling there. It's a change that we've kind of talked about in the past before, and we pulled the trigger on it here because we're going through and doing a lot. So it should really make getting gear like a lot nicer to understand what it's doing. Whereas skill and boost were a little bit ambiguous before. Ability affects abilities, and all their scaling. Again, the power that you currently have should be there, and it's just pulling from one source now, so you're not weaker. If anything, you're now stronger. Um, and then the stats that you see on here. So you might be seeing, you see vitality, attack, and ability on this weapon. So weapons and a new item type that I'm going to talk about here in a second all roll specific stats. They roll, let's see here. They'll roll damage, they'll roll attack, ability, vitality, um, firing solutions, projectile count, crit chance, and crit severity. Um, and then the other stats will roll on armor. So fortitude, power, defense rate, range, and armor will roll on all the helms, gloves, chests, boots, masks, bracers, brooches, and some pets. Uh, and so what we're doing is we're taking the active hero stats and we're going to be putting them on weapons in a new slot called offhands. And offhands are also kind of a new slot. The squire, for example, has an offhand in the form of a shield, but the power of that shield is going to be going up. All of the other heroes that, you know, based on what they use, will also be getting a new offhand. So for crossbow heroes, it'll be an ammo pouch. For staff-based heroes, it'll be a tome, and for polearm heroes, it'd be a whetstone. Those currently are not going to be visible on the heroes. They'll be almost more similar to like a stat stick, uh, but they'll have a lot of different things on them. A lot of these different stats to really increase your hero strength and the damage your hero specifically does. And then your, as I previously said, basically your armor and accessories and some pets will have your tower stats on there. So we'll still have stats rolling, but and you should have, like, after we go through and up and release episode 1, you'll actually have the same power on your hero regarding if they were a pure damage hero. They'll still have that same strength, but they'll also now have the bonus stats applied to them as well from their armor. So they'll now actually be able to like build as well. Same thing with your pure builders. They'll still have that same strength, but now they'll also be able to damage. So we're kind of unifying both of these things. So you can choose to just build and just sit there if you want to, or if you choose to go in and fight, you can as well. Um, man, there's just so much here. Now, this might come off as kind of like homogenizing things a little bit or watering things down because we are, we got rid of a handful of stats. We're kind of like simplifying some things here and streamlining some things. And that's for a lot of systems we're going to be building on top of this. And so the first that's going to be coming in episode 1 is our item effects system. So what Phil has currently on the screen shows fire effect and random effect, but that could be more exciting. So let's go to the next slide. All right, so this is a tooltip that shows 2 different items. They should both be swords or pole arms, because those are the only ones that will have attack rate, or sorry, crit chance and crit bonus. And as you can see, different weapons will have different crit chance and crit bonuses here. But there's also the item effects on here, and there's a lot of these things. And episode 1 is just the first iteration of these things. There's going to be a lot more coming as well down the road, but there's a lot coming within episode 1. So item effects are a lot of things. They can be broken down into multiple categories. Probably the easiest one to talk about here is they can be additional stats. They could just be things that rolling on armor and accessories just increase your power, so it increases your tower damage, or increases your attack, which would roll on weapons and offhands, and that would increase your hero damage. But then we also have different types as well. So we've got, for instance, here we've got irradiate and detonate, and stun and boost attack rate. So that boost attack rate would be one of those stats as well. But like, this doesn't say what those things do. And so with that, you'll have to just go to a wiki that someone makes and hopefully they figure it out.
Wow.
But wait, that would actually suck. Go to the next screenshot. So here we go through and we lay out what these things actually do. So you'll be able to page through on your items. So basically it'll be between 2. One is the first page being the breakdown of what your weapon is, all of its stats. And then the second page will be an explanation of what your item effects do, and also what your set bonuses do, which we don't have on here. So as you can see, irradiate has a chance to deal damage to enemies that is scaled. Detonate has a chance to explode. Boost attack rate is when you're attacking, has a chance to boost your attack rate even more. And then also a chance to stun enemies whenever you're attacking them for a specific amount of time. These are just 4, and there's a lot. So
these are the only 4.
We
didn't have enough time for the other ones that you laid out.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoy these. But this is really where a lot of gear hunting is going to become more unique. Where our goal as we continue to develop DDA is to add more item effects that are also like very unique to like potentially specific bosses, if that's what we want to do. And this whole system kind of allows us to really just shake things up quite a bit and do something we've never really done before. Because I can't even talk about what's coming in the future. My goodness. So there's quite a bit here. And there's a lot. Like, they also are on armor as well. They have specific effects on armor. It's a really robust system that has a lot. Like, it'll really, a lot of their power will start to scale with your weapons. So you might get a good effect rolled at a lower level, and you aren't also, these are not upgradable either, so they just roll, and that's the status that you receive them in. But they also scale with weapon strength as well. So as you upgrade your weapons, these things have the chance to also increase their strength as well, specifically if it's things based off of dealing damage, like whenever they explode, for example. Whereas some of them might be like flat stat values that as you attack, like, it just gives you that additional stat. And then, speaking of stats in interacting with weapons, this order is a little wonky, but that's okay. So item effects we'll continue to talk about, but we can kind of go to the next as well because we've just got so much to show. So upgrading your items. So this is kind of what the new panel is going to be. This isn't 100% yet. There's still some other stuff when it comes to upgrading, specifically in regards to damage. But one of the things that we really wanted to show here was what upgrading actually, or what your stats actually do. So you will be able to hover over what your stats are within your upgrade menu. Say, okay, that like I don't know what lightning damage is. Well, it's the lightning damage that your attacks deal. Things with attack rate, things with like weapon or pet specific things is listed here. Again, this is kind of a template that we're showing, and also showing like what the weapon types are. What the weapon or what the item effects are that are on there, the bonuses, the set bonuses as well. So again, it's streamlining the visuals to understand what all these things are. Go to the next.
Mhm.
And so then this is the new character stats screen as well. So again, more of the same stuff. Like you'll see a breakdown of all your stats on the side, and also an easier way to visualize the stats that are going to be coming. Within episode 1 is kind of a full list here of what your base hero stats are and upgrading into those as you continue to level.
Yeah, and it'll show, like, if you're hovering over attack, it will show the corresponding stats on the right side that are going to be affected if you change attack. So you'll get more DPS, you'll get more lightning damage, all that kind of stuff.
And then we'll go one more. We're going to be bouncing around a little bit. So this is something that we're hoping to have in episode 1, and if it doesn't come in episode 1, it'll be coming after episode 1. So it's not episode 1 or bust. And this is the ability to, once you fully upgraded an item, to add a name to it as well. This is something that a lot of people have like talked about from the DD1 days, and so it's something with a lot of these item changes that we've done that we want to bring in as a nice little quality of life kind of fun customization thing, going into episode 1. And then I don't know.
That was the last one.
Okay, kind of the
wait.
last one.
Let me grab that other one.
Hold. So while Phil's doing that, we talked about item effects quite a bit, and again, I can't see chat. All 3 of my monitors are covered right now. So I don't know if there's like a plethora of questions there, but
I've been trying to answer some of the questions in chat.
Okay. So the idea with a lot of these systems is to let you, like, you should retain the same power that you had previously. Um, but with these additional system or additional effects coming in, you'll have even more power, and like we'll start amping up challenges over time, so that it's worthwhile to get that gear. But from where you currently stand, like you will probably gain a decent amount of power. So as we transition gear from how it currently is into episode 1, what we're going to be doing is having the gear come into the new version, so you retain your defense power and your hero power, and or gain the opposite, depending on what your hero is built. So if it's a damage based hero, it will gain the ability to build defenses, and vice versa. And we're going to go through as well, like we're currently talking about how that's going to work, since upgrading in the stats and stuff, since certain stats are being removed and or modified in some way. We're going to be providing you guys a refund in the form of a plethora of gold for what you've put into your upgrades, and then allowing you to re-upgrade your items to fit within this new system, so that you're not locked into previous decisions from before, how like gear was set up. So you'll have full autonomy on whatever you want to do with your gear. We'll make sure that you still have your power, and then that you're not locked in to previous things. Man, there's so much. All right, I kind of want to go over set bonuses, but we don't have an image for that. So
I mean, I can go back to the.
So yeah, so with these item effects, we've also got new set bonuses coming in, and so we don't have a screenshot for those, but that's all right. It'll be in the doc as well, in the post that we're going to be making, so you'll be able to read through and see some examples there. But we are adding additional set bonuses, so we're adding more armor piece set bonuses that lets you have like specific customized builds as well. Well, it'll be like some of them will be similar to kind of how fusion gear is set up, where you will get the set bonus plus like a lesser percentage of stats. So you will have the pure stat set bonuses still, but then also very specific set bonuses that you'll find on armor So like for instance, one is we're calling erupting defense, so it increases the fire damage your defenses deal by a certain percent. That will basically make it so your fire defenses on that hero are your strongest defenses. So you can start making like specific tower builds that don't apply to all of your defenses, or you can still do that with some of the stuff that's there, as well as a handful of other set bonuses that are coming. But one of the things that we're also adding with this are weapon set bonuses. So since armor affects towers, that's where the tower set bonuses are going to be. And since we've already got some of those in the form of like the stat set bonus increases and the fusion tower modifications, as well as the new ones that we're going to be adding, we added a decent amount for weapons as well. So we've got some that that increase specific stats like attack rate, crit rate, or sorry, your crit chance and your crit severity. And then also some that increase the damage that those weapons deal as well. So if you have a lightning weapon, we have a set that's tied specifically to lightning damage being greatly increased. But then we also took it a step further as well. So with fusion sets and how some of the other sets are working for armor and towers, we're doing the same thing with weapons. But we wanted to try something out a little bit more experimental here. So we are creating hero weapon sets. And what that means is that the hero weapon sets are specific to certain heroes. And so the idea is that this is going to greatly increase the strength of one of their abilities and potentially add some more utility to it as well. And so the one that I want to talk about real quick is EVs, series EVAs. So the way these weapon sets normally work is you have two pieces. You have your main hand and your offhand, and they'll have the set bonus tied to them. So any main hand and offhand that have that set bonus on there will work together, and they'll apply whatever that set bonus is. But on EVA is a little bit more complicated, so I figured I would cover her because I'm sure people would have questions. Hers will be in the form of a crossbow and a staff. And her set bonus currently is called Protean Cannon Mark II. So what this means is her energy beam that she shoots out deals greatly increased damage, but it also ensnares enemies. So that means slowing them down by a certain percentage. So we're currently going through, and you'll see it on the post. There will be variables in there instead of specific amounts. We're currently going through and balancing and figuring out just where those sweet spots are to make sure these things feel very impactful. And this is our first go of it. So creating new hero set bonuses should affect their abilities and the efficacy of their abilities, so that if you want to play an active hero, you can. If you want to play an active hero while building really strong defenses, you can. If you don't want to play an active hero, if you want to play a boost hero, you can. So none of this stuff is forced upon anybody, but there are options. And that's kind of what we want to do at DDAs. We want to open things up a little bit more. We know a lot of people have kind of been stuck to kind of a boost meta, and we want to still let people who want to play boost builds be able to do that. If you want to change up your build a little bit more and be a bit more active, you can. And with all that, a lot of people
talking.
It really is. At some point in time, I'm probably going to take a drink of water, and that moment's going to be here in a second. So people have been asking during the previous streams, hey, all this stuff is cool and all, but we only have 4 hero slots, and we can only build with those 4 hero slots. Guys, spill the beans on something that you haven't talked about before. And to that I say, all right, fine, sure. So we're going to get into what's coming with our hero deck changes. So we have gotten a ton of results in, and there's even like the results are still, like the survey's still up. And we went through and surveyed how people, like what people want, and how many heroes they use and whatnot. And we've dug through a ton of profiles. We've watched a bunch of streams. We've kind of looked to see like what we could do to make things better and also add some incentives here. So with the, yeah, we're good. We can show the new hero deck. So it's not like anything crazy new fancy, but you'll notice some differences here.
I need
So
to
previously,
open this.
the hero deck only shared XP across all heroes, and fusion sets are what worked with it. Fusion sets weren't communicated with that, and also your active heroes towers would deal 33% more damage. So that was mentioned within our tutorial, but the only thing that was on the UI was that XP was shared between all heroes. With this change, we're increasing it from 4 to 6. Based on our survey results, 95% of players used 6 heroes to build with. And with what we're doing here, or sorry, 6 heroes to normally play with. And so with what we're doing here, when it comes to a pure damage hero, we expected the amount of heroes that people use to go down by at least 1. So, we were kind of looking at choosing a max. We kind of talked about, increasing it to 5, but we've got a lot of heroes on the way, and like the rogue is a special hero that only focuses on DPS. So for the time being, we decided, you know what, we'll go with 6. And there's a lot of stuff we still want to work on with the hero deck. So increase the size to 6. That should give you guys a lot more control. We actually, and this works both on mouse and keyboard and on gamepad. So we'll be changing up kind of the way the bindings work, and then also the oh my gosh, what's the I can't think of the name for it, Phil.
What?
The next image.
Oh, the radio wheel, the hero wheel?
Radio wheel. There we go. Yeah. So the radio wheel will also have 6 heroes on there, making it easy to select heroes on gamepad. And you'll notice there are some hero deck bonuses here. So XP is earned equally by all heroes in the hero deck. That stays the same, kind of, because now you have 2 more heroes on here. So you have 50% additional heroes that are going to be getting XP. So you actually increase the amount of XP you're getting. That amount is not lowered. So if you get 100 XP with just 1 hero, you get 100 XP on all 6 heroes. We're not changing the XP rates. So it'll make leveling 6 characters just as fast as leveling 1. Set bonuses and item effects are only active in the hero deck. So this accomplishes a couple things. We didn't want to have people feel the pressure to have every build or everything that is possible to get in the game to be incorporated in their build. And so limiting this stuff to 6 heroes should accomplish the fact that people like to build with specific heroes. They like to, based on our survey results, play with 6. So this should fit within what you already had, and this also accomplishes some of the issues where players were saying, "Hey, with our within Rifted, we have fusion builds that we use. Having just the 4 heroes, bringing in the rogue, that's going to cause some trouble." And we agree, and we even talked about how we had something planned for that. So the stat increase the hero deck increase helps accommodate that as well. The other part of this is just the way on the back end how item effects work. If we had it applied to all characters, that would potentially cause some issues down the road where we might be limited with what we can do with item effects because it would affect performance. There's a whole tech segment to that, but I'll leave it at a TLDR of we would be limited with what we could do. And so by having this, it accomplishes multiple goals for us. One, with having players come up with specific builds instead of having the pressure of needing to overbuild or have to overthink what's in their hero deck, and then also allowing us to do even cooler stuff down the road. And then the last one is tower damage for all heroes in the hero deck is increased by X% for now. So currently that is at a 33% for your active hero. And there's a lot of stuff that players have access to within the item effects system that we didn't want them to feel limited by. It just has to be their active hero. So this percentage won't be super cut down, but we want to go through and do additional testing before we have a number that we're even safe showing. But what you should see across the board is going to be an increase across all your towers damage. So again, with a lot of heroes coming in, having the warden with all her defenses coming in, if people want to play wardens but they still want to build other things, for instance boosts with monk, they can build their auras to help boost things to CC enemies and still have that strength. So you won't be punished for that stuff. So there's bonuses to still play other heroes, but you're not penalized to only using your active hero. Same thing with the rogue coming in. So the rogue doesn't have any defenses, so his tower damage doesn't get increased. That said, we're actually balancing the rogue to take this kind of thing into consideration, so that I mean, he's if you have him in your deck, you're probably playing him, so he's your active hero. So his damage will be scaled so that it meets this 20% tower damage increase for heroes as well. So he will be a force to be reckoned with outside of what we've shown on the stream as well. All right, we're a little over 4. There's so much stuff here. Oh my gosh. Talked about the item effects. There's so many item effects too. Like we just can't even go through a list of them. I know some people were talking about, wanting to have a spin to win rogue. I'm pretty sure with pets and some item effects, you get pretty close. If not there. So
yeah, I haven't
that's the kind of
tested that.
Yeah,
that build.
it's the kind of thing we're looking into adding. Is again like letting you do those kind of builds. In DD2 we did have a lot of like nuke monk builds and certain barbarian builds and whatnot, and that's what we're wanting to do here. But we're going to continue to add on to this item effect system over time, so that it will play a much bigger role in how you kind of set up your characters. And this first iteration is huge. Like it's already going to add a lot of customization, and then there's even more down the road. We only have so much time to implement all these things and set these things up, but it really is incredibly expansive. Anytime you get an item effect, it will be beneficial to you in some way, which is kind of the whole goal of what we're wanting to do. We're wanting it so that you get a piece of gear and it feels good because it's useful, but then there's certain pieces that you're really looking for to set up a very specific build that's just going to melt things. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff here that I kind of gleamed through. That again, we're still kind of working through this post and getting eyes on before we get it out. But it's a lot of changes. Gosh, the stats alone are going to be crazy to go through. But yeah, Phil, is there anything I missed?
I'm looking at your doc and it looks pretty much like you covered a little bit from every section, and for the more details I'll just have to read the post.
Yeah, there's
this is kind of just giving a quick kind of 30-minute overview of like some of these changes.
Yeah, there's a lot. I took a drink right there. That's how I finally got hydrated a little bit. Yeah, I'm crazy.
The only thing I can think of, no, you talked about the stat changes. That's right.
Yeah, and there's a lot. Let's see here. What's a fun one? I'll throw this out. This will be like the pre-bean is what we'll call this, because it's going to be in the post. Oh, okay. So making pole arms. That was much information. Pole arms. So projectile count no longer rolls on pole arms. Instead, the projectile for the monk is going to be based off of the strength of the weapon, so that once you get to the late game, like currently our max projectile counts 7. So any kind of like, I don't want to say like super late game, but it's just like as you start to kind of get into the late game, every polearm is pretty much just going to shoot 7 projectiles. So we didn't like, again, this thing kind of rolling on polearms made it impossible to make polearms make sense on any other hero without breaking them entirely. So we're looking at, again, like making this stuff scalable is really what we want to do. We want to make it so that when we add new heroes, we can do this stuff. So the warden using polearms, now we don't have to worry about projectiles, and instead have the monk's right click, his secondary attack, be limited to just him, and now we can use polearms elsewhere and give a lot of like unique visuals throughout our characters, as well as some additional functionality. Weapon normalization. Boss weapons now. We will be adding in additional things with boss weapons over time. But there's definitely, there's some new weapons coming too. You've seen the woodland set, but there's more weapons than just the woodland set coming. And then also looking into add in some other items as well. There's a couple that like have kind of fallen through the cracks as we've done updates. So I think we're getting some of those re-added as well.
Want me to do some giveaways while you think for a second?
Yeah. Let's go with the giveaway.
All right. Hashtag gear upgrade in chat. I know we didn't do that keyword before. So if you guys are looking to enter that, make sure you type that now. We'll do 3 giveaways. And then if you have any questions, you can throw them in chat and we'll see if we can try to get some of those answered. But if they're like hyper specific or just really technical, we'll probably not have a clear answer for you.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna, like, a lot of stuff's gonna be in the posts, and again, there's some stuff we're able to expand on, but there's still work that we're doing. Um, but out of 1 to 10, what is the next stream gonna be? Well, this one was a 10 because this affects everything in the game and so much more. So the next stream's like a solid 8, I would say, like for sure. Because
like
there's
let's see, what is that? Yeah, I'd probably say like a 7 or 8. It's not like anything mind blowing, but it is definitely some new stuff to go over.
The rough idea of the release date when it is ready. Like if you
No
want
dates.
broken garbage, we can release that, but you won't have any fun. So we're gonna abstain from that one, and make sure that this stuff is in the best state possible, because a lot of this will. I mean, it's going to apply to all the gear you already have as well. It's not going to just be, hey, there's some old pieces floating around. So we want to make sure that going into this, that everything is updated properly, that you have more or less the same power that you had before the update, before the episode, and that everything's working. Your item effects are where they should be, and doing what they should be doing. That navigating these menus, it's a whole lot of stuff.
All right, let's do the first giveaway. Dunner Buck.
Dundermonk.
Dundermonk. But
I like it.
let me know if you're still in the chat.
Deadblade, I'd also like to know how on a treadmill pet went. It's a good question. We'll see.
All right.
One of these days.
I will send you a.
For every time it gets asked, one more never.
One more never gets added to the list.
Yes.
All right, check your whispers for what your options are. I'll get you that after the stream. Do the next winner. 3 is 2C. GG, are you in the chat? Regrets. Let me know if you're still here. Looks like they may or may not be here.
Well, maybe not.
Give them 30 seconds.
Nigiri, that is offensive to corgis and cows.
Corgi on a cow on a treadmill. Yeah, Deadblade, exactly. Except like, I mean, we just showed you guys this stuff, so it at least exists in some capacity.
10 seconds. 3 is 2C. Are you here? You got 3 seconds. And I'm re-rolling. Sir Khalid? Khalid?
Sir
Khalid. Yeah.
Khalid.
Like DJ Khaled, you know?
DJ Khalid.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. I will send you a whisper with your options. Let me know what you want, and I'll get that after the stream. And finally, the third winner. Anna's 1232. And hey, there they are. All right. Congrats to all of our winners. I'll send you a whisper. Let me know what you want. All right. So anything else you want to talk about now that you had a moment to think?
So yeah, I mean, like, to surmise a lot of this, like, there's a lot of stuff we're doing in this update. It's huge. We've spent a lot of time in this, and we've still got a little bit more to go. But the idea is that this will set kind of the cadence and precedence moving forward. So more item effects. There's even more features in future episodes that are going to be built off of this system that really allow us to give you guys a lot of power to choose what you want your builds to do. As such, we'll probably be really amping up some enemy difficulty at the Massacre level for future episodes, and definitely looking heavily at this one. But this episode's gonna kind of be a bit of a wild west when it comes to itemization stuff. Like we're we're an indie studio. We have only so many eyes on and getting everything like properly set up on our end, getting a lot of these things non-dev art as well. That's a super important piece to all this.
Yeah, that's mainly why we did not demo it. It's just because most of the functionality is currently dev art.
Yeah, it's a lot of dev art. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm really proud of how much the team has been able to put into this episode. It quite honestly, this will probably be the biggest episode when it comes to the amount of work we've had to do. We don't plan on revisiting stats and items after episode 1. This is kind of breaking from what DD1 had and kind of streamlining things. It's taking some pages out of what we learned with DD2, but not necessarily going full DD2. That's still a game if you want to play that. But kind of trying to find a happy medium with a lot of the feedback that we've gotten. So we're excited to get this stuff out to you guys. We still got more. Like
yeah, next week we've got more to show. I think next week we'll actually have something to show.
Yeah, well,
but we'll have more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so we hope you guys are excited for a lot of the stuff that's coming. We're listening to your feedback and making sure that what goes into episode 1 provides a lot of what you've been asking for over such a long period of time. So hopefully, especially the stuff with the hero deck, that one's been a little harder to keep under wraps just because of showing the heroes and people saying, "Hey, what about this?" It's like, we got something for that. We promise. So yeah, there's no release date next week. But we've got more stuff to show off for next week as well. It'll probably be that, and then we'll want to start talking about this will be a turbo bean, but testing schedules for everybody to get into.
Testing.
Wow. That's as much information as I'm going to be dropping there.
That sounds exciting.
That one's kind of huge. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we're already 15 minutes over.
Yeah. Let me see if anyone is streaming.
We were super ambitious to think we could include the other thing that we're just going to be showing next week at this point.
Yeah.
But we had it as a just in case. But that thing's also pretty cool.
Keeps the suspense.
Yes, there we go. Perfect.
All right, we're gonna go. I found someone we can raid. All right. Anything else we need to talk about? I'm gonna just start the raid. We're 15 minutes over.
Okay.
We're gonna go raid Fat Cat 36. He's playing Dungeon Defenders Awakened.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Sounds like a great game. Start the raid. And yeah, so we'll be back again next week, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, for more beans and episode 1 reveals. And yeah, with that, I think we're good. Anything else?
No, that's it. I mean, we could try. I'm sure we could, but
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.